Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the United Earth Angels Series podcast. And we love you. We're really happy that you're tuning in with us today. Who am I? Tobi Staples. I'm a self mastery mentor, 20 books out there, actually, 21 now that I've created that activity book for my grandkids. But let's get back to business. Self mastery mentor here, encouraging you all to flow, feel love over worry all the time. And I'm your host today here. And we've got a co host and a special guest. So I'll hand it off to the co host to introduce herself before we welcome in our special guest to introduce himself for you all today on episode 48. And we're talking about enhancing customer relationships through love languages. So, Andi, as the co host, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hello. I'm Andi Jo. I am an Earth Angel. I am a mom of 11 and a wife to a veteran. And I'm a singer, songwriter, published author, and a lot of different things. And I'd like to say thank you for showing up and just for giving your time to us because that's something you can't get back. And we greatly appreciate it. And I love you all. And who's excited for our show?
All right, we'd love to welcome our special guest, Jacques. Take it away and introduce yourself to the audience. We're so grateful that you've joined us for this 10 episode series.
Well, first of all, I'm grateful for you ladies inviting me to have a conversation and to make that connection between love and business. I'm a business innovation strategist. What we do is lead generation, and the secret sauce is to create engagement, to build trust, like, and understanding, right? Because leads become prospects and prospects become clients. Leads are strangers, prospects are friends, and clients are family. So this conversation today is how you can connect that love in your relationship with your potential prospects. And that's why we're going to talk today about words of affirmation, the act of service, and also quality time. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm excited to start off this conversation with words of affirmation.
That's awesome. Why don't you lead the conversation then? I'm down for that. Let's lead. Lead with it. Go for it, Jacques. Open us up today.
So again, the way we want to enhance customer relationship is through our language, right? Our behavior and what we share with our potential clients. And the words of affirmation is really showing them that we have gratitude for them, that we recognize who they are, that we value them, that we appreciate them. And that's one of the secret ingredients.
I agree with that. I agree with that because I tell everybody that I work with how amazing they are and how capable they are and how they should flow and feel love over worry. I'm a big words of affirmation person with anybody that I work with, even in their times of, they don't feel it for themselves. Well, I'm there to remind them of it. And that's what actually connects us even stronger. Actually, Andi, you can attest to that.
I sure can.
When you
Absolutely.
were feeling in the dumps when we started first working together, did I not speak life into you with words of affirmation?
Yes, you taught me to speak life into myself like you spoke them into me every morning when I wake up. Before I even leave the bed, I speak to myself words of affirmation so that I can show love to the world. I have to love me. And yes, you taught me how to do that. You guided me how to do that for me. So,
And what did it do for us? What a loving connectedness that we have, even up until this day.
yes,
All right, there
yes,
you go. And expand that. You see, your customers, you may think, oh, just customers. No. Andy went from a client to a very connected individual to me. That's more than a client. You see? That's
yep,
a soul connection now. And this is what happens when you speak life by words of affirmation into your clients. You build connection, a solid, stable, loving connection between the two of you.
absolutely.
Debbie, The other thing that can also be done, like when you talk with clients, is prospects, right? Because you're building that trust. You want them to like and understand what you're doing, trust you, trust like and understand what your solution is. But what's really important too is once they are clients, is to make sure that you celebrate them. You put them in a spotlight, right? So they feel important. They feel that they're part of your organization, and that's crucial. And sometimes we just forget. Well, people just clients and clients and clients. But what you do with Tobi, what you're doing with Andi, is just remarkable. You put her in a
She is remarkable. She's a remarkable being, and there's nothing else that I can top that with. Like, that's the highest. No, it's not the highest, just the word that there's no other word.
You know what's crazy, Jacques? Is Andi a year and a half ago was a very depressed individual who was on medications to help her cope and was not participating in life. Now, where she is a year and a half later, she has an active business running. Yes, she does. She has 3 books published. She has adopted children now, so merged family, where she has come from 1 year and a half ago to today, and also within that time flying around the states, putting herself out there to audition for things. She went and she recorded her first song. Hey, she's back into that thriving force. You see it all in the results that she's having. But I just gave her the tools. It was up to her to use them.
I had to do it myself. She just told me how.
So when was the breaking point? When did you make that switch? When did you take that decision?
When I first started talking to Tobi, I knew there was a connection. I just couldn't see through the fog that I had created on myself. And
the belief,
Tobi,
the false belief.
Right. Tobi reached through all the fog. She reached through all the fog and said, I'm not going to help. I'm not going to physically pull you through. But if you want to come through, this is what I'll do for you. This is how I'll guide you. She told me that I had to do the inner work. My breaking point was I had to buy a new daggone mattress because I had gained so much weight and laid in that bed so long that there was a divot in the mattress. That was my breaking point.
Wow.
Yeah. If that tells you anything.
Yeah, and this is why I believe in the results, not only for myself, but for others, because I had to energetically master in order to resurrect my body from where it was at. Well, in that type of having to walk the fire and literally raising myself, resurrecting myself and participating into life again, and knowing that it's possible for myself, I knew it was possible for everybody. That's why I was like, no, I can show you how to do it. You're not going to, and I warned her, you're not going to like the process because you're comfortable. But I guarantee you the other end of it, you will never now imagine the rewards on the other end of it. And I don't think at that time, she never realized where she would be right now.
I didn't.
Never. You see? So, but she had to do that. But what did I do? No matter how shitty she was feeling during the muck, I was there beside her going, you can do this. You're amazing. And I love you no matter what. And you're safe with me. And there's no judgment because I walk the fire too. So I know that it hurts. And I know it's not easy. But guess what? I'm here cheering you on. And sometimes that's all it takes. Is to know that there's somebody, hey, keep going. Don't worry. I got you. I got you. And sometimes those are the words of affirmation and the quality time that one needs to feel seen, heard, and connected to even their own self.
Yeah, it is. That's what it took for me anyways. I know my husband and my children and my mom love me and support me, but they didn't know how to reach through the fog and peek in and say, hey, I know you're not okay. Come on. But that's what Tobi did.
And I think that this is what you do, Toby, so well. And that's the second point is act of service. You go the extra mile with people that are in your world, people
Yes, I
that
do.
are in your team, and that point is going the extra mile, right? And what that also brings when you go the extra mile is that you're preventing a lot of problems down the road, right? You're giving more self confidence in people, so you're minimizing potential problems. It's just a question of being proactive, and that's part of who you are. You're proactive.
Yeah, I'm solution based because if any problem should arise, there's an equal opportunity of a solution. It's what you choose to see. So if somebody is choosing that, oh, it's a problem, well then yes, if you see it as a problem, it's a problem. But any obstacle, setback, redirection is actually an opportunity for a more amazing option. You see, and that's where we get hiccuped. We think, ah, shit, no, actually, that's our bump to expand us. We're not supposed to accept that or settle for that. And that's where the glitch is. We see it wrong. We perceive it wrong. When in actuality, any little problem is a great opportunity for an expansive growth of learning creativity. There is so much in that. It's how we label it, how we see it, how we, you know, and I'm a
It's also what
solution
you
based
believe.
person. Yeah,
It's
I'm
also what
solution
you
based.
believe. People tell you stuff, and people tell you stuff that are not true because they don't know it's not true, right? So now you
That's right.
believe, and when you believe the stuff that's not true, then it inhibits whatever
That's right.
creativity you have or any results you may have, right?
Yes.
And it can
Yes.
be, I always remember the story of the two twin sisters, and when the dad liked one sister over the other. I mean, in the dad said, "You'll never have a man that's going to love you. You're not like your sister. You will never have anybody love you like your sister." And then 20 years later, her sister is, one of the twins is overweight, single, and the other sister is still, skinny and married with a couple of kids, So whatever people tell you that can stop you, don't believe it.
It's very true, but also too at the
Don't believe
beginning of it, what you mentioned about when people come and they tell you lies and they tell you if you are solid in your authenticity and you damn well know the truth, there's nobody that can sway you. Because no matter what excuse Andy could give me, no matter what, Andy, I'm going to use you as the
Go right
whatever
ahead.
because we're talking about it. Listen, don't think that she wasn't lying to me because she was. She was lying to her own damn fucking self. Excuse the language, not even. But she couldn't. It didn't work with me.
Yeah, she
it. Yeah,
saw
but
through
but
everything I threw at her. So
You see, so when they're lying to you and you know the truth, you have to just install more love there, more quality time there. Because when I knew she was lying to herself, I didn't judge her for it. I said, okay, I need to be able to just spend some more quality time, affirm better into her. So all of the things that we're talking about today, I applied with Andy to assist her to see her own lies that she was telling herself because she's not telling me those lies. Those are what she truly believed at that time. But we change our beliefs according to what we're told, what we're taught, and what we experience. So the more quality time and the more affirming of, I didn't give up on her when she really was like, this is too much. Like she was going through it. And I just, it's okay. Keep going. Keep going. And when she was lying to herself and lying to me, I was feeding her back love, words of affirmation, compassion, but with severe truth and taking the quality time to do so. You see, so it really affects your customer relationship with anything that you're doing. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If you don't take the quality time to listen and actually genuinely care about the people that you're servicing, it doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing. Well, then you're not really there. So are you giving yourself that also to enhance your experience with your clients? You see?
And I know that some people just think that they're not worthy of succeeding, of having success, and that is a lie. They're very uncomfortable with that lie, but they're uncomfortable with the lie, but they're comfortable because it's their comfort zone. They believe that they're not worthy to succeed, right? So what they do, they jeopardize a relationship with their clients. And when you're in that stage, sometimes it's just insecurity. And living that lie that you believe makes it easy for you to stay there. And getting out of that comfort zone is very challenging, especially when you don't know how to get out of that comfort zone. You need marketing tools, you need knowledge, and that's what happens. So people stay in that comfort zone that's very mediocre. They don't succeed, but they're comfortable in there because they don't know what to do because they're scared to screw up, right? So
Right. A lot of people stay in their comfort zone because they don't think they have anybody around them to help them when the answers are right there in front of them. They just haven't reached out and grabbed the answers. It's just they think they're doing okay, they're doing all right, but this is where I'm supposed to be, so I'm not going to reach any further. The lies that they've heard their whole life, they don't know how to bust them up like broken glass. They don't know how to do that. Man, they claim to not know who does it or where to do it or anything, when there's people like Tobi and people like me all over Facebook. Hey, you need help busting through this, that, or the other, reach out. I'm here. Don't hesitate, and they ignore the fact that there's actually people to help them bust through it.
Actually, I want to talk to you guys about that, because what you all have to realize is that anybody who's been traumatized, which the whole world has been, has a default mechanism locked into a fear setting of a default mode network in the brain, which they've become actually desensitized to. So if you are not being loving and compassionate and authentic in any of what you are doing in this day and age, people are scared of you anyway, because they're scared to even look at themselves. So if you're not coming with love and authenticity, hey, listen, the heightened awareness right now of the desensitized individuals, they don't even understand why they feel the way they feel right now. So how are you getting through to them? By being solid in you. It's just like the lighthouse sharing the light. It doesn't matter the storm, the tide, whether it's high, whether it's low, whether it's rocky, whether it's cool, what size, whether it's a tugboat, an ocean liner, it doesn't matter. It stands there solid and shares the light for all. Well, that's what you have to do in your business, because you know that you're needed, but you're not going to go jumping into the sea either. The lighthouse doesn't do that. Running in there trying to save ships and captains and seamen. No, stands there solid. And that's what you got to be, as solid as an individual that the world could possibly need and use and facilitate love and growth for all, because that's what's needed right now.
Yeah, they have to follow the light. They have to. Somebody has to be the light for them to follow. You can't expect them to see you if you don't shine your light.
Okay, but look, do you see a lighthouse's light in the day? No. So it has to get dark for people to see or seek the light.
Yes.
You see?
And you have to have the right leaders. If you have the leaders that are corrupt or don't have integrity or don't like what they're doing and they're just into money, you're not going to get that. They will not spread that light. They will not spread the inspiration. They will not make it inviting to engage.
Well, you know what's funny is everybody wants to, like, I don't follow politics. Let me be straight with that right now. I don't follow politics. I don't feed into it, but I will say one thing. The whole system, everybody seems like they're in denial. Like all of a sudden there's fucked up politicians. It's always been fucked up. Now it's just everybody, all of a sudden becoming aware of it. Everybody's had their head in their ass the whole time and have been puppeteered the whole fucking time. feeding into the fear, and how much time and energy is wasted on all that shit. Exactly what they want from you, to feed off of you into that shit, so you're not creating the life that you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're creating what they want. Wake the fuck up, people.
Yep.
Okay?
Wow.
Because a lot of people love to talk about, politicians. What, are you now just realizing that they're all corrupt, only funding their own big lifestyles?
Follow the money trail. Just follow the money trail. It's all about the money trail.
Yeah, well, now that's why people need to step into their power, because it's people that are doing it. The
Mm-hmm.
politicians are feeding off the people that give it permission. So it's the problem of the people that literally people can't stand up for themselves. And that's a real problem.
There's also ignorance. Because, sometimes being lazy to understand what's happening, or to be lazy wanting to learn more or have a better understanding, puts you in a place of ignorance. And when you're ignorant, then people can abuse you. And power will abuse you when you're ignorant, because you don't get the big picture. And that's the problem of society, whether it's America, Europe, Asia, doesn't matter where.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the biggest problem of society is? Is that it's mandatory to put our children in school.
Yes.
That's the biggest fucking problem.
Yes.
Right into the brainwashing system of conformity to the system. Yeah, that's the biggest problem. And I tell you, they don't speak words of affirmation there, or talk quality time there. No, they don't. And guys,
No, they don't.
if you want to enhance your customer relationships, you got to do it with love languages, okay? We have had quite the conversation today on episode 40. And we're talking words of affirmation. Well, boy, did I speak highly of the government. Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's the same. And you mentioned the word quality, right? And that was our last point for today. Is quality time is about the customer connection. It's about having exclusive connection. You can call that an exclusive experience. You can call that a VIP event. It doesn't matter. When you offer something that is of quality, right? That's where you connect more, not only with who they are, but also their community, right? Because people have beliefs. Call them religion, call them sport, call them having kids, call them having no kids. It doesn't matter what it is. But when you connect with somebody and you have certain things in common, whether it's sports or dogs or children, then you increase that level of quality time. And then you get a better connection, you get a better experience.
Yeah. It has to be quality time. If you're just sitting there on your phone, like I take my kids to the park and I see parents sitting on the bench just, and they'll say, "Mom, look," or "Dad, look."
And what you notice too is that, when I meet strangers, I always take it 10, 15 minutes. I go on their Facebook, I go on their LinkedIn, on their website. I want to get an understanding of who am I talking to, right? And what that does is right away, within the first 3 to 5 minutes, they see that we have something in common, that I did demonstrate interest in understanding who they are, what they do, where they come from, their past career, their past experience,
What's
their past
that on
travel.
LinkedIn you're talking about?
It could be LinkedIn, it could be Facebook, it could be their website, it can be Instagram, it can be anything.
I don't do that. I'll be honest.
I always
with you.
do that.
I don't do that. I let the boss send me everybody I work with, literally. I don't conform to nothing. I really don't. You know what? I'm so authentic that it takes a special kind of character to want to have a connection with me, because there's so many that have told me, "Oh man, the first taste I got of your energy, I ran. I didn't like you at all. But over time, man, I don't want to live without you now."
I hear you.
I'm like a shot of espresso to the sleeping.
But probably, Toby, you're like one of a kind. So the whole world is not like you. That's why we love you. Most of the people are not like you, and they have to prepare and they have to do some homework. But you got it. It's right in your genes.
but it's also, I'm self-taught and I've been a master learner since I was a child. I have, even my daughter, her and I were having a conversation, and she even mentioned, Mom, as long as I can remember, you were always studying something. Always. Always, you've always been studying something. So, but this is, I tell people that all the time. I have to learn something daily. That is my fix. So that's my adrenaline rush. That's my love language to myself, and quality time to myself, and affirming growth within myself to make it possible for me to assist with another.
Wow.
So that's what I do. So, guys, we're about to wrap up this episode. So, I'm going to round the robin table for everybody to say their last piece before I wrap this up.
All right. All right. All right. All right, guys. I love you all. I love you. I love you. I love you. In case you don't know sign language, I love you. I love you. Okay. But I honestly do. You know how? You know why? Because I honestly and unconditionally love me, no matter what happens every day, no matter what gets thrown into my face, no matter what, I love me. So that's how I can love all of you. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciate each and every one of you who come and watch our lives every week. And my new song releases this Friday. It's called Thief, and it talks about dementia. And I'm sure there are plenty of people who want to know they're not alone. But that's what my song is about, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I love y'all.
You know, it's funny that we're talking about the same thing, but from different angle. I think that the way that I like to express my love is to empower people. That's what you've done, Toby, with Andi. You've empowered her with the tools that you have, and that's what we do when we have clients, right? We just empower them to be better performing, and to help their bottom line. And for me, love is being able to love yourself enough that where you get pleasure is by empowering others. And
Yes.
that's my 2 cents.
That's great. That's awesome.
And,
Guys,
and again, I'm grateful to be part of this conversation. Let me tell you, this is such a great conversation, and I'm getting a lot of value out of this by learning more and looking at things differently.
well, that's awesome. Why don't you let everybody know where to find you, Jacques?
Very simple. Jacques360.com. JACQUS360.com. Everything's there. Go wherever you want, explore whatever you want. There's all kinds of goodies there for you to discover how we can empower you.
That's amazing. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap up this episode 48 by telling you all, you don't want to miss Thursday's launch. You better come out for my new podcast on Thursday, Unfiltered Desire. What is that? That is smashing sex stigma with Toby and Dina. So she's a sex coach from Aruba, and I'm a self-mastery mentor. And we are merging forces to spread some knowledge and love, and to break and smash some stigmas and some silencing. Yes, very much so. So please, I encourage you all to come and join us on Thursday this week when we launch. But I want to see you guys all back for next week's episode right here, same time, Mondays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have Jacques with us for another 7 episodes. Come on out and join us next week. We love you all. We thank you for your time and your energy. And love yourself enough to flow. Feel your love over worry. Love y'all. Bye.